Are we live yet? Yes. Twitter. Okay, guys. Hey, Martti. Hey, Salo Livestream. Hey, Robert. Hey, Bob House, San Francisco. And Jari Kunnari and everybody. What's going on, people? So, I'm a little bit... I started the stream on time, but I'm a little bit behind on my own schedule here. But let me start this up and running, I guess. Let's just see how this works. All right, nothing there. Woo! I am here. What's up, guys? This is Darude coming live from my studio, and I haven't really slept too much last night. That's because I have a lovely baby, and the wife and I have been been dragged through the mud with the time change and stuff. We went to the US for a couple of weeks to see some family, and when we came back, we've been a little bit off, so to say, or she's been a little off, and yeah. Okay, I'm just checking my stream here. Looks like it's working.
Yeah.
All right, we're not gonna watch that. And I'm just gonna check my stream here on Facebook as well, so I could see comments and such. All right, guys. Why I'm doing this stream today is that I had a remix contest for my track Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is an instrumental trancer, 128 BPM, sort of old school Darude with a new sound or something like that, or at least that's what it felt like when I made the track. It was one of the first tracks that I made after the Moments album was released, and it was made without a record contract. It was made without a record label, executive or A&R person, or my wife, or a friend, whoever, telling me what they thought, because I just decided that I'll just make something on my own just for the fun of it. And it was made thinking nothing else but just sounds and having the track take me wherever. And I gotta give props to my buddy and partner in crime, Zach Waters, a crazy Aussie who I made a track with, and with Enya Angel, released almost a year ago now, a track called Singularity, because the initial idea came in a session that I did when I prepared for the Singularity sessions. So Zach had sent me some chords and some other stuff, and I was listening to his chords, and the melody thing that is actually in this track started out as a little melody blip while I was kind of making my own material for my session with Zach. So props where props go to. I changed the chord progression a little bit, but I mean, initially it was his chord progression, not much more in that particular demo bit, but the chord progression inspired me to come up with the melodies, and there was very little that actually stayed from the that demo bit, but the chord progression still goes similarly. So Zach, if you're watching, I think I've told you this before. I asked you what you felt about it, and that my idea of that didn't go anywhere, so we did Singularity, and most of that happened on the spot in the studio there. But this has something to do with you as well. So it was brewing for a little while, and I've been playing it here and there in my sets, and it's been working really nicely, whether I've told it's my track or not. And it's this sort of, it has a build up, it has a drum roll and everything, but it's not your typical hands up in the air or put your fucking hands up in the air builder, but it's just this, what I like to think that it takes you with. It's a sort of, in that way, older school musical or melodic emotional trancer. And so then I put it out as a test on tune.co, this new platform that is, I don't know if they still like me to say that, but it's the best comparison. It's similar to SoundCloud, so that people can have accounts, they can upload music, and they can share links, they can have people listen to the music. The difference is that on Tune, you get royalty, immediate royalty or stream payments when you have those, when somebody listens to your music. And first of all, the accounting is pretty much immediate. So at the end of the day, you get data, how much your track was streamed and how many notes. Notes is their cryptocurrency that you're paid in, how many notes you got that day. And it's very transparent. They have smart contracts that you make an account, and then if you are the sole maker of the track, you're 100%. If you collaborate with other Tune member, you just put that member in and you decide percentage. If you collaborate, actually I haven't collaborated split percentages yet, but I'm assuming that both then agree on the percentage, and that's that. And after that, there's nothing to be done. There's no record company, there's no publisher, there's no middleman, and thus musicians get pretty much immediate pay for play, and pretty much nothing can go wrong. Transparent payment and data of it. And what is cool about this, while my remix contest doesn't exactly use those mechanics yet, but Tune also will have, when you upload your track, you can decide whether you want to give your track to be remixed or not. So if you choose no, all fair, nobody can touch your track. But if you choose yes, you can choose a percentage that your remixer will take making a remix of your track. There needs to be no permissions or anything asked after you've decided that, hey, I'm going to have my tracks remixed if somebody wants to. Then somebody remixes your track, and then when it's posted on the site, it could be whatever, maybe 50-50, maybe something else. And you both get notes for every stream. Sort of very straightforward, and also takes care of the illegal or immoral remixing problem that exists everywhere else. I made a remix contest that there's no smart contract thing implemented right now for my remix contest, but I gave out a remix pack, and I just checked, and there's 136 people that downloaded the remix kit. Not that many entries came, but I've now whittled it down to 20 remixes, which I'm now going to go through. And I know I've been yapping for a long time, so my apologies for that, but I think explanations needed to happen. So I'm going to just start listening to the tracks. I'm not going to listen to every track all through right now. I'm going to start from the beginning, sort of DJ like we'll skip a couple of things a couple of times through the track, maybe let it play for a minute there, half a minute there, something like that, and just create an image of what I have. I'll also tell the name of the remixer, and then my purpose is to narrow this down to, I think, 3 winners. It might be more, because there's a couple of really different ones and a couple of really good ones that I've quickly listened through. And if your remix is not in these 20, well, I'm sorry. Then there was a reason that I decided whether the sound quality wasn't good enough, the production was something that I didn't like, or I thought that it wasn't on par, or there's one thing that might have happened, but I've checked all of my spam boxes, and I've asked people to send me the entries to a certain email address, and I've checked that email address and the spam box for it, and I've gotten every entry like that and downloaded and listened to them. But if you think that your remix is on par with whatever I have here now, and I don't have it on the list, maybe you should shoot me an email again at remixcontest@darude.com. That was the email address that was in the instructions. Anyway, so now I'm going to just start playing these tracks and maybe commenting on the side a little bit. I'm in my studio. I don't have my studio speakers connected to this laptop right now, so I'm listening to with my headphones. I don't hear every frequency, but the V-Modus. These are, by the way, the wireless crossfade 2s, which are amazing, but I'm using them wired now from my Zoom audio interface. And now that I've been yapping a million, I'm gonna look at a couple of the comments. Okay. All right, Bob, I hope to see you soon in San Francisco. I don't know why the video is laggy, because my frame rate seems to be, well, pretty decent. Actually, now it's jumping up and down between almost 30 and dips below 20 a couple of times. I don't understand why that is. But if the sound is okay for you guys, maybe, you know, if my face is laggy, it doesn't really matter too much, right? All right, so on the screen here, now you can see, let's see if we can make it, I don't know how this scales it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. That made it bigger for you, right? Cool. So you see names of the tracks, and I'm just gonna try. Okay, very little loud. It's funny. That tom thing. Heikki L used the same sample, the drum loop, in his Tell Me remix in 2007 or 8. Hi David, yours is coming too. Okay, so this track, by the way, can you hear me? Okay, doing this. Hi, Max. I think this was the remix, I remember right now, that I sort of wonder if I heard this track. We're halfway through almost. This sounds amazing, but why is it called Darude Kaleidoscope remix? I've yet to hear anything much recognizable, to be honest. I mean, the track itself is crazy good. And I realize it's in like, you know, same key and such, but sound quality wise, production wise, this sounds very nice. Alright, we're just gonna listen to the build up all the way through. Wow. I don't know what else to say about that. That as a track sounds great. It's very sort of classic, old school-ish almost, and I mean that in a good way. Trance, nice build up. It works technically, sounds good. But where's my track? And I'm not saying also this. I'm not angry or anything like that. But I'm just when you do a remix. It would be good, even if you don't use the exact same lead sound, for instance, that you would listen to the track and you would recognize. Because if there's something sort of directly or recognizable in that Bliss 29, if you're here, that you hear, I swear if I played that to 20 people before or after my track, they wouldn't sort of put those two tracks together. I don't know. Anyway. Sounds really nice. This is DJ Darkstorm remix. Let's try this one. Higher BPM 144. moi Teemu. Alright, so Darkstorm remix, not bad. I think arrangement and flow wise, it kind of, for my taste, it doesn't full on, or I don't, full on is the wrong word, but full on stop, go to a breakdown and get going again. It sort of floats between this. There's very few parts where it like full on stops and then fully builds back up again. That was one note that I made for myself. I liked the use of the original parts, but sort of with different sounds. I think the mix down is a little bit rough. There's like the, I don't know if that's like a full pure sine wave, but similarly that I have, the that's maybe a little sort of thin and piercing, but it's a type of sound that you have to mix it just right and or have a little bit of space or delay around it or something to make it fit better, in my opinion. Then with the beats, I would say that there's a sort of I'm not sure if the kick is tuned right, and then it sort of is lacking a little bit of other bass maybe. But these are not horrible FU criticisms, they are just my observations. Not a bad entry, and obviously it's in my sort of trancy realm, so that's cool. Now we are back at 128, and this is Davey Hub remix. Alright, so we're definitely hearing something different. Okay, cool. Piano, yes. Nice. I'm digging this vibe. It's very relaxed, but there's drive. like the bass line arpeggio. Okay, so I want to listen to them all the way through, but I don't have time for that, and I apologize. This one is really interesting. I like it a lot in many ways. One thing that catches my ear a little bit is, obviously I'm very used to my chord progression and how the bass line reacts to that and whatnot. There's, I think, a couple of changes with the chords and the pads that go against the main melody, i.e. that way, or the piano thing that I had with a different sound in the original, that I'm not saying it clashes, but it feels different to me than the original, which is fine. Obviously we're doing remixes here, but which I'm not sure if it's like fitting to my ear. It's not really ruining anything, but catches my ear. Yep, I like that one though. I really like the. It's very different. It's very recognizable, but it's very different. That's cool. All right, so David heading, and we're going 138. Sounds nice and traditional. All right, we're getting there. All right, Mara, I got it now, and I'm gonna check it out, maybe even while doing this. But then, okay, cool. Well. Guys, about levels, well, first of all, I'm kind of messing with the levels here all the time. I'm not sure if I'm putting them back exactly the same that it was, but another thing is that levels, schmevels, who gives a crap? Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever, they are normalizing levels these days, and so is Tune soon. they haven't implemented yet, but they're gonna implement maybe -16 lufs normalizing. I don't know the exact number yet. And then it doesn't matter how cranked you master your track, because they normalize everything and basically everything should then sound the same level. Right now, these levels are a little different from track to track, I'll give you that. All right. I like the style of this, sort of honestly old school-ish 138 uplifting, but here when it takes off, I gotta say that I'm not feeling that the new bass line or chord progression fits directly with that lead sound. I feel that it's sort of clashing, or at least creating, for me at least, wrong kind of tension. David, I like your overall sound quality. Kick seems to be where it should be, bass is pretty much there. I hear hi-hats are crisp and whatnot. I think musically or harmonically, this was not pleasing to my ears when it gets going here. I don't know, I don't remember the time. But after this build up. Nice remix though. Remixing is always hard because you want to have it recognizable, but you want to have your own sound to it, or you want to have your own twist to it. Maybe this is a case of me not hearing what you're hearing and you trying to almost forcing it to a little different vibe. I don't know. Let's go for Babylon. And again, this is a level difference thing. This is obviously mastered and or mixed tighter, and we're going back to 128. And this is yeah, David, I really hope that you don't take anything I say in a bad negative way. I'm trying to, like you said, I'm trying to be honest and hopefully make some sense, okay? Organ bass, love it! Now, so I'm not sure how you pronounce the name Davilone. If I remember correctly, you are a Finnish brother, right? Hold on. Yeah, hey Ville. Wow, this is cool, man. First of all, it's housey, it's very nice. A little bit of organ bass there, yet sort of modern-ish. And then that surprise breakdown, build up, drop, whatever you call that. Not exactly my style, but pretty crazy. Okay, so to my ears, what's really dope about this is that it's quite balanced every way. It sounds production-wise good. It's actually quite tightly mastered or limited and compressed. Some of the stuff sounds a little distorted, but I don't know if that comes from the master compression limiting or is it the individual sounds. Uses original parts really nicely, very recognizable. And then going into that, guys, help me out. That's like dubsteppy, trappy, future bassy? I don't know. That's cool. Like I said, not exactly my sound if that was the full track, but I might throw that kind of track somewhere and people would be like, whoa, what the hell is that? Cool. Very cool, man. I'm impressed. That one is very ready, like I would say, from the get-go. All right, cool. DJ Mika's remix, 128. Back there. I think this is, well, let's see. It actually gets louder, yeah. Cool. Aku Jakonen. Now there's a name I haven't seen in a while. Okay, so this is also compressed quite tight. Actually, I think the kick distortion comes from the master compression and or limiting. Oh, now I remember this one. Yep. Okay, so what I can't find right now, I couldn't find DJ Mika's email right now. It's fine. I've got it somewhere because I got the track. A couple of things about the track. I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's just sort of otherwise sloppy, but there's something weird about the timing of some stuff. And some of the stuff is not like logically in place. Like you've used original parts, which is obviously fine, but you've used them a little strangely, if you don't mind me saying that. But then there's a couple of really cool ideas to throw, the listener off and or add interest. Like, so this is quite, the original bits there, but then now we're sort of in another track. And then harmonically, no offense, but I don't think all the parts fit exactly together. More distortion here. I would say the best bit of this remix, in the beginning here, the timing is a little off. One thing that threw off a couple of the people making a remix is that my original track has, actually right now I don't remember if you're a Logic user, you'll know what I mean, if it's a 16B or 16C swing or shuffle, whatever you want to call it. And so it's not straight 16ths, but it's this like, and some of you made straight quantized tracks but didn't correct the shuffle, so that sounds weird in some parts. I don't know if this is the reason that this remix is a little off in my opinion, but then there's also this clap that is in the beginning is a little off, but I'm trying to find this part that so here, this I dig this idea from this sort of original part going here. But then this one, I'm not that impressed about the changes. So what I would recommend on this track, if you want to redo the remix for yourself, for instance, or if you want to send it to me later, that's fine as well. I would concentrate a lot more on to stuff being exactly on time, like loops starting or parts starting where they should start on 1, and then the timing being correct BPM and everything. Sample starts being where they should be. And then the other thing is that listen to the harmonic content. If you have a track that is in E minor, make really sure that whatever you're adding, loops, arpeggios, new sounds, effects and stuff, that they fit the key. They could be, you know, with E minor, they could be A minor or B minor notes, or the following chords, depending on how you do it. There are fitting chords. It doesn't have to be those same chords and same melodies. You can do your own stuff. It's just, but you need to know what fits, what works together. Good effort and a couple of really cool ideas. And just, I would be very, very focused on timing. And then also one of my sort of old school tricks that I tell everybody is that take a track or two that you really, really like, and you know that is a killer track on a dance floor or in whatever format you're trying to do, like whether it's radio edits or dance floor extended or ambient or whatever, and then follow those tracks, how their structure goes. And that's not like, you're not copying melodies, you're not copying anything, but you're seeing how the track builds and where it drops down, where it builds again and whatnot. And maybe that will give you ideas how long your own parts should be or could be. And then after you checked out the somebody else's original track you like, just do like make memory marks of it and then delete it from your arrangement and do your own. Like your arrangement parts can be half longer, half shorter, you know, quarter shorter. It doesn't matter. But if you get going with a good initial idea and a model of something that works, then you can break those rules or break that model for your own good. All right. Finnish. Hey Melanie, hey Angela, hey Mauri, hoi Jana. Oh, LA Rock is there as well. Tarja. Okay, cool. What I really like about this one is this attacks. This attacks really nicely. Sound quality wise, I think the bass line, while the bass line, the arpeggiated bass line is amazing, I like the sound of it, the general sound of it, but it's a little muddy, and I think the bass line might be overall a little too thick. I don't know. I think so far, what I've heard, this rocks, but it could maybe use a little better mix down. But musically and style-wise, I've personally liked almost everything so far here. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Robert, me too, man. Nice. Okay, cool guys. This is that got me excited. Very nice. Very nice. Like I said, I think the whole thing is sort of very ready. Arrangement seems to be working, parts with my parts, original melodies and harmonies, chords work really well. The bass line is rocking. I like that bass line. There's tons of energy in it. I think it would benefit of a better mix. And Finiark, I don't know if you're here listening to right now live or if you'll happen to see this later. Maybe we should think about this together for a second, mix-wise, just see if we could make it better together. But overall, this is something I would actually play this remix. The bass line works really well. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to pick all the tracks that I just would play myself. There's a couple of surprising or different ones that I really like a lot, and they're not something that I could or would play in my sets. But obviously I steer towards something that I know. This is cool. Nice one, man. Janku. I don't know. But here we go. I've got to find. Okay, we're definitely hearing a more minimal approach with this one. Here's an example of the shuffle. There's the arpeggio that is shuffled similarly to what I have. Okay, cool. All right, so this track works just nice. It's much more calm, much less in your face, which is not always a bad thing. I think the arrangement or the mix quality is maybe a little, I don't know, I can't say there's anything wrong with it, but it's not crazy impressive. But also we're listening to it after the Finnish one, which was very much in your face and which I really like. What I do like here is that main parts have been used, everything works just nice, and it's not a huge builder, but it just goes like, in Finnish we would say kuin junan vessa. It just works, it just rolls forward. And I actually played it a little quiet, I'm sorry, but we still got the message. So here, kill the upstart. Hey Maximilian. Hey Adam. Oh, by the way, check out the BPM. 172. Now we're talking. Hey Bob, come on man. So I'm not an expert in, I mean, I would call this drum and bass, but it's drum and bass something. It sounds sort of modern. To be a broken beat with these kind of BPMs, it's like a drum and bass thing. I like the idea of going that fast. The main melody doesn't sound bad like that. In this realm, it sounds pretty good. When we're thinking of sort of dubsteppy and trappy and drum and bassy sounds today, with those bass line sounds and stuff, I would actually go harder with the snare. That's maybe something that I'm missing in this one. bigger, thicker, maybe more distorted snare. I don't know. It sounds nice as a remix, as in style and flow and arrangement and stuff. I would maybe just go harder with the drums, something. Like the snare could be dirtier, more like clap, slam, bang, whatever. I don't know. A lot of this like bit crushed slash the growl vowel filter formant bass kind of thing, and it's not irritating me. It's cool. Wow. I'm you know, this is what I like about remix contests. There's just so many views. LA Rush, how about this one? 128 BPM, 909 kick. Did you steal that from my track? Sounds very much like Sandstorm kick. So LA Rush, or La Rush, and I believe he's a Swede. LA Rush. Lenny. All right, so like you can hear, this is quite loyal to the original, which obviously tickles my ego. Wow, okay. Nice little variations there. And yes, cool. Okay, cool. Oh, did we lose my... Wow. What happened there? Come on. Such an amateur. I've been thinking I've been jamming with you guys all the time, but hey, my GoPro is dead and it doesn't seem to be charging because I'm a dummy. I should have said, hey dummy, turn on your GoPro. All right, so like I said, I really like how the original has been used here. And then tiny little changes. Like listen to this, that arpeggio there. And now this different harmonies, different kind of chord variations. Changes the vibe, but works. I dig it. Yeah. LA Rush, dude, this is good, man. All right, you know what? I gotta tell you a little bit of a story here, or whatever. This next one, I haven't actually heard yet, so this is gonna be my first time hearing this as well. Marana's Galos Eidos mix. There are these crazy guys from Gaulia. Martti and Markku Raski, and I actually overlooked, I guess, Martti's mix or downloading it, which I feel bad about, but now I have actually 21 here because I never even heard this before. And then we have here a couple of tracks later, Rama remix, and those are brothers have taken part with separate tracks, and I know they've worked together at some point. They've done separate stuff way before, even before I've been releasing stuff. These guys have been at it and have had releases, so this is cool. So let's see Marana's Kalos Eidos mix. How's this gonna be? Martti, did I just mix you guys up again? Anyway. Well, I'm gonna get it right in the credits. Well, the vibe here is very cool. Hey, Sami. Exactly, Marco. Vangelis in the house. Hello, wifey, how are you? I am awake. Wow, man. Aha, you changed the timing, man. Yes, I fully agree. This is beautiful, man. Goosebumps. Yes. Wow! Holy crap, man! All right. Okay, we gotta go forward. Well, Mara. Crap, that's awesome, man. Wow, what a different take. What a landscape or whatever you. Oh wow, that's cool. Very cool, man. I'm glad I went through the emails again and downloaded that right now. Goosebump land. Bob, I agree, man. Hours. Max Mad remix using a good bit of the original vibe there. I gotta say, clashing content harmonically there, in my opinion. The bass line, while the gliding thing is sort of cool, but I don't think that it's exactly fitting the other parts, or the other parts are not fitting exactly this. That's one criticism. I'd also say that the drum parts are a little weak. The kick sounds a little like thin. It sounds more like a tap than a big bassy thump. And if you are monitoring with either lower quality speakers or maybe headphones that don't play the actual bass for you proper, then you might not hear exactly what you're doing. So I would recommend getting your system in an environment where either you get your listening environment good with good set of speakers, and or if you have a good set of speakers but your listening environment is somehow flawed so that it doesn't replay the bass proper, then maybe try and A/B compare somewhere else or with good headphones, and be brutally honest. Listen to a track that is in a similar key, similar BPM, similar style, that you know is good sounding, commercial equivalent of what you're making, and then pick it apart. Like, does my bass sound as thick and round? Is the kick equally loud? Is the kick bass relationship the same in my track that is in this track that I know sounds good? And the same with, like, is my hi-hat, is my clap snappy and thick, piercing enough, and do they come through proper? That will help you get your mix closer to yeah, I think the kick definitely lacks a good bit of roundness and bottom end. It also obviously depends on your mixing style and your production style. So I'm not necessarily saying everybody needs to have the same kind of style, but comparing to some of these other tracks, the low end of the kick sounds quite thin, because you do have some bass in there anyway. Still. Not in this part, but this sounds that there's a little bit more to be done to it, but not a bad effort still. Using some of the definitely like the original vibe type of stuff, which is always good. That bending, gliding bass line, I'm not a big fan of, to be honest. And like I said, there's something harmonically a little off. You should be very focused on whatever part you're using, that the next part fits it harmonically, and the next part fits those two harmonically, and everything fits the same key. And that way your track becomes more and more coherent, and everything supports itself. And within the track, the rhythmic stuff, you might have stuff that goes between different things, but those should be counter things that don't try and fight each other, but complement each other. And the same melodically, if you have a harmony content that is sort of clashing or creates too much tension or something, that I think steers away from the good vibe of the music. All right, Miss Jin is next, 128 again. The earlier one, Max Mads, was 135. Moikka Jouni. Moi Janne. Okay, what the hell? So Mission, this is freaking awesome. I could not even dream of this shit. This is awesome. So weird to me. Don't get me wrong. It works. Nice. So really cool use of the original stuff. And especially in the beginning, some of the pad stuff and some of the bassline stuff I think was like on purpose, a little creating like spook stuff. Then those like filters and sucky sounds and things. That is dope. That is dope, man. Like I'm just, and then the whatever you call those. Oh wow, that's cool. And like I said, remix contests are crazy, amazing, and also very hard to pick the bests and whatever, because the people have such different ideas. But this is awesome. I like equally when somebody makes a remix that is sort of close to the original but is a different spin. So maybe 2 or 4 BPM faster or slower but still has energy. Maybe housey but has the same lead or whatever, and is very true to the original. That is really cool as well if it's well done. But then again, like having something like this, you know, I like the lead sound with this. It's a different sound, but it works really well. A little bit of vibrato in it. So all the good, but all the main parts of the original are there, but so different. Cool, very cool. All right, girly and mies. Here's 126 BPM Rama remix. Tight kick. Well, Marco and Bob, you don't always have to dance to music. You can also listen to or have Caesars to it or whatever, but that's the beauty of music, and that's the beauty of yours and mine ideas. It's a free world, mostly. We can like different things, and even the same people can like dancing and that, or this. That piano sound, awesome. Holy crap. We're going to almost final countdown territory here right now. I'm really digging this, man. And nice little variations and stuff. Cool. All right. Wow. I don't know. It's probably 2 for 2 for earlier this time around. Nice one, man. There is, we talked about this before, but the mixing is not bad at all, man. You're too hard on yourself. Kick is definitely there. Sound-wise, your style is a little more sparse, maybe, than some of the stuff that is out today. You're more about a big, bold, good-sounding lead than 78 different sounds filling the stereo field and the spectrum, which is totally fine. You know, if you have a good lead sound and a good lead melody, let that shine. That works well. Your bass line rolls really nice. Simple, beautiful. All right, Smeel ambient remix, 128 BPM. Let's see. I like the bass. And I like the variation in the original melody sound. Interesting. Moi moi! Okay, so I'm digging this too. Very nice, calm, nice trick using the original melody thing, not on the one the same way that I used it. It throws me off for a good bit right now, but it's not like it's wrong. Sometimes you have to do something like that. Sound quality wise, mixing wise, it sounds pretty solid. Well, I mean, I don't see anything jumping in a bad way. Very nice one. Very nice one. Smuts, 128. We're in a sort of housey, trancey realms again. Moro. Oh yeah, I remember hearing this. This piano is just beautiful. Yes. Now this sounds as a very ready mix. Kick is there. Kick is maybe even too loud. I don't know. It's not necessarily. It just depends on the kick sound as well. The only thing is that harmonically I find one thing bothering me, and I don't know if it's because there's a new bass against another bass. I'm not like. There's a this part, there's something that to me doesn't work there, and I'm not, again, I remind you, Smuts right now, that I'm not trying to be a mean asshole here. I'm just saying that something to my ears is off there. The piano part is really amazing, just really beautiful. It brings more dimension to my melody, which is sort of one-handed melody, and you use some chording or double notes there and stuff, added a couple of things and whatnot. It's beautiful. It makes my melody better than it is, and apparently, or obviously, you know how to play the piano, and I know keys as well, but not like I can just. So that's cool. I like this mix. I just think that it would be better if it didn't try to do something different with the bass line, because to me that is, again, while not necessarily music theory wise clashing, but there's something that creates too much of a tension or something like that in my ears there. But very professional sounding, tech wise and production wise, and good shit, so to say. Toxic Culture remix, 120 BPM. Let's see what this is about. Uh-huh. Different stuff. Awesome. I'm thinking Kill Bill right now. Anybody else? Kill Bill? Uma Thurman with like a sword. Very interesting. That's a, I don't know, gold or whatever thing that. Oh, I'm so tired. I was awake half the night with our little daughter, little sleep terminator. Nice. Nice. Very cool. It's easy to think that there's this the I don't know, what do you even call that? The bass, the dubsteppy, the growly, whatever, and that's an old sound. In a way it is, but I like it here though. And contrasting to sort of the plinky stuff, that was cool. I think the mix down was not exactly clearest, not the best one of these. Could benefit from a remix. Thinking what could be done better, but very nice. And yeah, I remember seeing you, man, Toxic Culture at Rice, and I'm glad that you decided to make your mix. So this is Trans Step Remix by, hold on, who was this by? Where do I find it? Which one was it? Oh, let's make it louder. Sorry. What's happening? Yeah. Okay, so Amplux trance step mix. So I'm digging the half tempo vibe. Obviously digging original parts used. In a way, this is not reinventing the wheel, but it doesn't have to, because it just works as is. I like the clap and reverse effect. Yes, all right, man. Not a bad one at all. Triple M 128. I remember this housey beats. Let's see how this is gonna go. Oh, let's fast forward a little bit. Oh, this was actually mastered quite loud as well. All right, I'm just gonna let it play. When I heard it the first time, once I got over the shock. All right. All right, so this is not exactly my style, but I could definitely play this in like the beginning of my set. And I do know that the drop there, I think that would work really well in a club, big PA system. It's the only thing that I wish the mix was a little different with was where the original lead, the second lead starts. This here, for whatever reason, I feel that lead is a little loud. It could start a little quieter, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not hearing what you hear. I like the whole thing. It's very different, and it's I don't know if modern is the word, but it's there's a lot of that, like sort of quite simple, quite straightforward. I could almost hear like laid back Luke playing that, or that drop at least of the track. It's very straightforward, very, the housey, sort of old school housey hi-hat clap stuff works really well. Then there's although it's very short, but it sounds like a brass hit type of thing. Nice idea. And what I appreciate about that one is that it's very different from the original. It's recognizable, uses original parts, but is at the same time like F the original. I'm just gonna do it this way, and I find that cool in this case. All right, here we go. Walter Feeney, Evolutional War remix. It says yes. All right. Let's see. 122 BPM, so a little slower. Yeah, Chantal, I got a message from a buddy of mine that is in Marana, and he said that this is not on the list. Did I just drop it because I didn't like it, or did I miss it? And I in fact missed it. So I actually went through my emails and found it, downloaded it, and put it on the list. So that was entry number 11. It was the big, very cinematic sounding thing that was missing. All right, Walter, what I really like about this remix is that I'm not sure if I hear war in it, but Evolutional War remix is very like big sounding name for a remix, and this is what it aspires to be for sure. It sounds very cinematic. It sounds very much sort of Jean-Michel Jarre, maybe something like that. Maybe maybe Vangelis, maybe what was, oh man, I got a huge hole in my brain right now. Oh wow. The TV show called Miami Vice, and the composer that did a lot of the amazing stuff like Crockett's theme and stuff. Why? Anyway, while the intention seems to be that, and it's very good, I think it's a little crowded at times. There's you've used my stuff, and maybe that's forced you, or you've thought that you need to have it all there, or it needs to be mixed up or something, which I understand on one hand. On the other hand, a lot of your big pads and a lot of space in the mix, it does get muddied a little bit with all of the tracks being on at the same time. You have your own that 303 kind of arpeggio, and there's a lot of stuff that is fighting for the same space. And I think, don't know for sure, but it seems to me that a lot of your separate sounds, they have a lot of space. Either they have separate reverbs on them, or they have each a little too much of a send reverb, and or the reverb and delay, maybe they don't have their low end cut out, so it creates this little bit of a boomy, cacophonic, I don't know if that's an English word, cacophonic, vibe to it. It's not horrible, but it could be cleaner, and it would be better that way. So if you wanted to make this a better mix for yourself and send it over to me as well maybe later, is rethink a little bit how many parts you want to be audible, visible, not visible, but audible and noticeable in a spotlight at the same time. Because it might be that the track would work a little better if you trusted a little more on your own pad sounds and stuff, and or if you have too many of your own parts. I mean, obviously there's I don't know, but it's a little smudgy, it's a little unclean at times, and I think it comes from having too much going on at the same time. Like you have little sharp bip bips there, here and there, and you have an arpeggio going, and you have like whatever going on at the same time. And while I think theory-wise they probably work, but just the mix is maybe a little cluttered. Very nice mix though. An idea, I like it, and I also like it's one of the few slower tempo ones, so it definitely fits the bunch in that perspective, creating more variety as well. All right, and then last of the 21 right here now, Wave DR, Dr. Wave remix, 128, and here goes. Adam, you're right. Ranta, cool. Wave DR, Wave Doctor, Dave Ronald. Thank you for this one, man. The exact first time I heard the guitar, I don't know why, but I didn't like it too much at all. Second listen, and now this is third or fourth listen. I do actually dig it as a counter melody for mine. Works nicely. I just read your email again. Dave here is telling me that he's not really an electronic music remixer. He's a rock artist, but was or is interested in this kind of stuff as well. I can hear, Dave, that you might not have all the DJ production, electronic dance music production stuff sort of in your backbone, but I can also hear your musicality a lot in this. Everything obviously is like in key, sounds good. There's a couple of things in the mix that could maybe be better. What's a fun fact here, or fun tidbit? I can read it to you guys. The verse kick is my foot stomping with a D6 mic on it and heavily compressed with an EQ'd. So you don't always have to have a Vengeance sample pack to create your kicks. You can just stomp your foot and record that and compress an EQ, and voila, there's your kick. That's that's cool, man. And you're saying it yourself, you kept quite a lot of my stuff there, but then added some stuff that changed the vibe, like the bassline thing. It's pretty neat. Wow, that rounds up really nicely. There, it turned out to be 21 because I had missed one track, and luckily Marana got in touch with me and I found the track and I added it, so it was not top 20 but 21. And if there were other tracks that were missing in the top 21 now and you feel that they should be there, get in touch with me. Remix contest at darude.com was the official contact address. And there were some young kids like LA Rush that sent me a Facebook message and not an email like I told you to. I found your remix anyways, and it's here. Great job, guys. I'm so thankful. Tens of entries for one track, and now I have to pick out of these 20 top 3, maybe top 5, I don't know. To be honest, like I was as I went, some of them are not on par quite there 100% mixing wise with others. Some had some timing issues and whatnot, and in general, I mean, I know some of you guys have made music forever like I have, and so I'm not trying to be somebody high and mighty who just drops pearls of wisdom to you. You guys know this stuff yourself, but for those who want to get some advice, is I just concentrate. Rhythm has to be like one, or if there's rhythms, they have to support each other. They have to work for the same groove, whatever the groove of the track is. Harmonic content has to match. You know, if you do a remix that has a chord change that goes, say, for instance, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4 are different. And if you decide to change it so that bar 1 and 2 are the same, bar 3 is different and bar 4 is different, you need to make sure that that bar 1 and 2 chord works if you use something of the original melody. Because the melody used to work with the chord change that was in the original, but if you didn't change the chord, it still needs to fit that chord change somehow. If it doesn't fit, then you can maybe go into that melody and nudge a couple of those notes into place or something, but you need to pay attention to the harmonic content. And like I said while we were listening, sometimes the harmonic content changes and it is not wrong music theory wise, but it might sound weird. It might change the sound or the vibe of the whole remix, so that an earlier happy or whatever uplifting remix might change to anxious one. And if that's your purpose and if it fits, then that's fine. But if it's sort of by accident or sort of by you forcing it to changes to anxious or somewhat clashing or somewhat dissonant or whatever, then you need to know that what you need to change to fix that, or just decide that if it's good like that. Obviously, when you have a remix contest, there's a limited amount of time. There's already somebody's original thing that you need to sort of go by. So it limits what you're doing, but it always pays off to be systematic in your writing, producing, editing, and then sort of maybe wear different hats at different times. First do writing and idea stuff, and then production and or arrangement, and then lastly mixing. And then to get a good balance mix, you need to know your room, your speakers, but also sometimes you could get to a great mix if you have good tracks that you can compare to. And even if your room and your monitors would be lacking, but if you know the sound of this great track in that system and you mix your new track or the remix sounding similar, kick is the same level as this track, and bass related to that the same, you should get very close, even with stuff that is not top notch, for instance. But now it is my turn to go through this once again and sort of pick. I'm going to narrow it down first for myself to 10, and then I'm going to go from there. And I'm aiming at 3, but that might be too difficult, so it might be 5. And then when I'll choose those, the last 3 or 5, those are going to be the tracks that and the people who I'm going to contact again, and I'm going to ask for the wave, full quality wave file, and then we're going to decide when it's going to be done on tune, when we're going to put them up. And then also I agreed on the percentage, so I need your info on tune side so I can register the track fitty for us. Right now I can tell you already that I really was digging the Finnish one, number 7 now on this list. Marana's Kaleidoscope mix was insanely good. Misjin was weird as F and amazing. Davilone I liked a good bit. Bliss 29 was great, but it didn't sound like Kaleidoscope. What else do I remember? Kill the Upstart was also of the far left side, worked really nice. LA Rush was good. There was several so good ones. Rama, old school vibe was great. Smil, I mean, I can name almost all of them, so I'm in trouble. The Trans-Step one was good. Triple M was scheiße. I don't know if I can even cut it to 10. Anyway, guys, and oh, good. I know you guys are already saying that, but please, now that this mix or the stream should stay up, hopefully it does. You can fast forward and rewind and re-listen, and if you want to, feel free to name your number 1 or top 3 or whatever, and I'll take a look. It's interesting to see what you guys think as well. all of these 21 on this list, and whoever else wants to help out, feel free to share the stream and tell people to go and check out the different remixes after the fact as well, because they can still take part in giving, voicing their opinion. And I'll make my own opinions, but I'll definitely take a look at what you guys think as well. All right. Hey, thanks guys so much, and I'll be getting back to you. I don't know exactly when. I'm half on a summer holiday, half in studio mode. Whenever I have the chance, I'll do that, and I'll let you know what I end up with in the final top, whatever it is, 5, 10, 21. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you next time. Thank you so much, each and every remixer. You guys did a fantastic job. And thank you everybody for listening and commenting on these remixes. I'm gonna quit with this one. I got to. Goosebump Mountain. Moi Miikka. My wife is warning me that my mic is on. She doesn't watch my streams all the time, so she doesn't know that I whistle and hum and sing and make a fool of myself, whether the mic is on or not. But thank you, honey. Wow. Peace. Hey, Khalees. No, that was abrupt. All right, guys. See you later.